So we are on the air. This is Ivan. I'm still isolating, sheltering in place, quarantining, locked down during this COVID-19 pandemic, which is pretty crazy. It's surreal, everything what's going on around the world right now. There are days when I wake up and I just think, is this really happening? Like, it's pretty unbelievable. But good news is I've been discovering new tracks, lots of musicians and bands from around the world on the podcast. So it's been a lot of fun, and today is no exception. I'm so excited about today's show. The subject on the podcast today is the London-based international acid rockers Swedish Death Candy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Swedish Death Candy on the show today. And I'm on the phone with Marco, the drummer of the band, and I hope that this is going to be a psychoactive episode. Hey Marco, welcome to the podcast. It's always good to have some good rock music on the show. Hey Marco.
Hola.
Hola. Hey Marco.
Hold on a second.
All right.
Hello, hey.
How's it?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah. Are you also isolating over there?
Oh yes, you bet I am.
Yeah.
We're all isolating over here.
Yeah.
It's been almost 10 days. Let me get my. Oh, now I can hear you better. Got earplugs. No earplugs, headphones. Oh yeah, how is it going over there?
Yeah, we are all good. Also, isolating, quarantining, lockdown during this COVID-19 pandemic. It's pretty crazy what is going on right now around the world, right?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. No one can say has ever experienced anything like that before.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
So let's try to create some kind of distraction for the listeners out there. This podcast is intended to give some hope and some joy out there, so people can listen to some music and some nice stories. So welcome Marco to the podcast. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, man.
Yeah, it's always good to have some good rock music on the show. I was listening to your albums yesterday, and it's really cool. So we were going to talk about your music on the podcast. But first of all, well, kind of an international name for an international band, I think, right? Where are you all guys from?
We're all based in London.
Yeah.
We all come from very, very different background. I was born and raised in Italy. Jerome, the bass player, was born and raised in Korea, and Frank also comes from an Italian background, and Luis is from London, where we all ended up meeting and forming the band.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. Totally international background, Korea, Italy, and you are all based in London.
Yeah.
Do you think, does this cultural background of your bandmates have an influence in your sound?
I don't know, to be honest. Like we ended up playing together because we all kind of had similar interest in terms of the music that we listened to.
Yeah.
Both like on the rock side, but we're also like we like a lot of other stuff, and we clicked on that thing as well. Like we do listen to a lot of different genres, going from hip hop to techno to electronic music, um, to jazz, and we are all interested in that as well. So I do believe that there is some form of uh, difference in the melting pot of our personal background, but in terms of music, very cohesive. It's all very it all makes sense.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Did you grow up listening to rock music, or what kind of music did you hear when you were a child?
Me personally, I think I was really influenced by British rock,
Yeah.
uh, first and foremost. So we're talking like Yes and Genesis and Deep Purple,
Yeah.
obviously Led Zeppelin, obviously Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
All of those bands were kind of like a normal, no normal listening into my household growing up.
Yeah.
So I believe, yeah.
Absolutely. So you were born in Italy, raised in Italy too, or when did you move to London?
I moved in 2012.
2012.
Yeah, so it's been 8 years now. And I moved over here to, as I was saying, it's like I've always had an interest for British music.
Yeah.
So I came here to see what the game was.
Yeah. Cool. Kind of making your dream come true. Cool.
Yeah. And see, uh, l- live and breathe the music and the background and the surroundings that really made that music. And listening to even Jimi Hendrix and Cream and walking around London, it all makes even more sense than when you do it in your own house, just because like you can really understand where those guys take their inspiration from and what really drove them to write the music they did write.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, England and the UK they have such a long tradition of rockers out there. So I can't imagine how cool it is to be in London and play music. I've never. I was. I think I was like one day in London, so I couldn't really see a lot of London. But it's I'm definitely also influenced by lots of English bands. So do you remember like? I think there is always like a moment in life, maybe in our childhood or when we are teenagers, like a band or a song specifically, where you thought, man, all I want to do is music. Kind of, all I want to do is to be a rock star. Do you have like this sort of moment or a person, someone or somehow who introduced you to music?
I think I don't know. I always wanted to do music and be involved in music because, as I said, I've grown up with a very musical background in a very musical household, and I've always been into music. I think the only time when I wanted to be a rock star was when I saw VHS from a Michael Jackson concert, and I was overwhelmed by the show. It's like, oh, I want to be on the stage, and that's what I really wanted to do. It's not much the the rock star aura, but is the being on stage, and I think that really the first moment was when I listened to Made in Japan by Deep Purple for the first time.
How old were you?
All traced back to that.
Yeah, cool.
How old was I? Must have been, God, probably 4, 5.
Wow.
We had that on cassette, and I used to play it over and over. That
Cool.
one and Beatles' White Album, and those were the two things that I probably listened the most when I was a kid.
Yeah. Awesome. So at a really early stage in your life, so that's cool. How long have you been playing together now with Swedish Death Candy, and how did you come up with that name? Actually, I like it.
That is a common question we get asked because I suppose he's a very unique and specific name. We we formed we officially formed in like 2015. We used to be a three piece, and then when Frank came into the equation, that's when I think we really started taking the band seriously.
Yeah.
And started working on the main body of work that then became our first EP, and then our first album, Licorice. And the name, this is something probably Louis has got a better answer, and I believe there are loads of material online. But what I can say is that we after proposing Swedish Death Candy, which at the beginning was a joke, we kind of figured out that it really represented the band, because really what it is it takes the name from a sweet, from a candy that is from Sweden, and is this very very nice licorice, but covered in rock salt.
Okay.
So yeah, at the beginning is very very bizarre and very unsettling, and once you get through the salt, you get the reward of the sweetness of the licorice. So I think that kind of also represented a little bit the music that we were composing, and people liked it, so we just stuck with it for the time being until now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty catchy name, and I also like. I'm like a very visual too. So when I was kind of discovering lots of new bands, I saw your name and the album cover, and I thought I gotta hear this band, and it was really cool. So let's talk about your new album. Are You Nervous? What would you say? What would you say is the main difference comparing to your first album, which is also called Swedish Death Candy? By the way, Broken Engrams is my favorite song of that first album. That track really rocks.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It really rocks. And so what would you say is the difference? What happened between those two albums?
Well, we got older. That's what happened.
Yeah.
We got older and
Musically
a little
speaking.
bit more aware of what we were doing.
Yeah.
The first album was pretty much get in the studio, play all together, like we do in the rehearsal room, and then add the vocals on top, and maybe re-record some guitar, or but a very old school approach, just literally like a live band, and try to catch that vibe on the record. The new album, we thought about it way more than we did with the first one. As in, we really sat down and worked on our individual parts, the sounds, and all those things. We really worked hard to get a better product. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I can hear that, and I can also hear hints of some teens bands, for example. I don't know why, but it remember me a little bit of bands like the Smashing Pumpkins, Queens of the Stone Age,
Oh
of
yeah.
course, is there a little bit. So it's a really beautiful landscape of sounds. What I really enjoy it, and of course the psychedelic trip too. There is also some nice trips in your
Yeah.
songs, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like we are the sum of the ingredients that you put in the recipe,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
And we try to be original. We try also always to incorporate elements from other sides that of our own experiences. But we it's undeniable that we grew up in like late 90s, early 2000.
yeah,
So the influence of band, as you said, Pumpkins,
yeah.
Stone Age, Caius, and all those bands is undeniable. If not from a musical side of view, also from a recording, from like a production point of view, we do and try to keep our eyes and minds open for everything that can make our music more interesting to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. The Smashing Pumpkins is one of my favorites. They're so good. Um, the music scene in London. I mean, England, the UK, they have such a long tradition, and we talk about it a little bit. Why do you think the UK puts out there so much insanely good music? You know, you name it: rock, punk, indie. We talk about some. Bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. What about the scene right now in London? What is going on right now over there? Can you maybe name us a few bands that you are enjoying right now? Have you been touring with other bands that really rock? What is happening right now in the music scene there?
I mean, like music scene, I think globally is just constantly thriving.
Yeah.
I can make examples from UK to Italy, and we've been touring and sharing the stage with bands all over from Hungary and Latvia, and obviously because of Juwon, we are getting exposed to a lot of also Korean music. Um,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of music out there.
Yeah.
I think London is one of those places that everyone that really wants to try and do music and try to break into the music industry kinds of converge through.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people from everywhere coming to London and try to either make a living, but really just riding the wave of this massive creative surge that is London. There are loads of bands. I mean, like London now is getting really a center spot in the global community
Yeah.
for the new jazz scene with people like Yusuf Kamal and there's loads of bands, the Afrobeat Collective. Um, there are an incredible amount of bands that do that, and obviously electronic music has always been
Yeah.
a big thing in London. I mean, like all the way back from the 90s, the rave scene and bands like the Prodigy. You always have some electronic underlining going into the underground and eventually breaking into the mainstream in some cases. So London is really a big melting pot and keeps everyone busy try to discover new stuff and probably get influenced by it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A melting pot. I like that word. Your single, Always, Always. Is there a story behind that song?
Mhm. I'm sure there is. Um, Louis writes old lyrics, so I'm pretty sure he has replied to this question before. I wouldn't know. I can tell you about the drum parts, but um, I'm sure there is some stuff. Because like our lyrics are never really thrown out there. There is always some some thought about what we want to say, how we want to say it, and
Okay.
all those things.
Yeah. Awesome. So it's time for music now on the podcast. Short break. Stick around. We will be back in a minute. Let's hear to your single, Always. Yeah. Okay, so we are back with Marco from the London-based band Swedish Death Candy. Marco, you've been touring quite extensively across UK and Europe. Which country do you think the people go crazy and wild with your music? In which country does people go like really crazy when you play live? Do you have like
All of them?
all of them, really?
Um, Yeah, no. I think like there's a very different response from every country.
Yeah.
We have toured pretty much most of Europe, and that has been an amazing experience. And it's always different. I mean, we love playing in France. We love playing in Germany.
Yeah.
Netherlands is always a big place for us.
Cool.
But even in places where we'd never been before, and maybe because like we did tour extensively in France and Germany and Netherlands before, but with the Old and Witches tour that we did last year, around this time of the year actually, we got the possibility to play in new places like Spain and Italy and Czech Republic, and even there the response was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So every place is different, and I'd say every place has got its own cool things. Why we go there, and we would like to go there and play for that kind of audience again.
That's cool. Have you ever been to America?
We've never been to the States, actually. No, we would love to, and it has been something that we've chased for a few years now.
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit of preparation, and there are a few hoops you have to jump through in order to get to play in the States. But it's something that we'd definitely love to do.
Yeah. But
And hopefully, with a bit of luck, probably in the next few years, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years, we'll be coming in the States, and hopefully like Southern America as well.
yeah, that will be cool. I
Oh, man,
I would go to your concert. Absolutely.
Now we would absolutely love that. We've seen actually few friends from bands from the States which have toured the southern nation of America, and they loved it.
Yeah.
So
Cool. But I think you did a session on Seattle's radio KEXP, didn't you?
yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Was it a nice experience? Where did you record that?
That was one of the most bizarre, nice experience I've ever had, probably.
Yeah.
Because we recorded that just before the gig in Transmusical, which is a big festival in Rennes, and they invited us into this massive warehouse in the middle of countryside France, and that was taped actually on early December, I think. All I know was that it was supremely cold. It was incredibly cold out there, and but the whole crew from KXP, they were some of the easiest people to work with.
Really cool.
They really put us at ease. I think like that shines through the video, but it was just so easy to record that that tape. It was just a pleasure.
Yeah, cool. I was watching the videos yesterday too. It was really cool. It seemed pretty like you were having fun playing there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Sure. I'm gonna post the links for the people who are going to listen to the podcast.
Please do.
Yeah, let's move on to the techie part of the show. I like to talk. I am a musician myself, so I like to talk about production and gear and pedal boards and instruments. Yeah. Well, you're the drummer, so maybe can you tell us something a little bit about your drum kit?
Yeah. I do a few things that I use. My my main kit for Swedish Death Candy is a Tama, is an old Tama. It's the same kit that actually is on the KXP session. Is an old 80s Tama that I bought because I knew it was a good drum kit, and I bought it for cheap because it was pink.
Yeah.
And that kind of also became kind of a signature for myself.
Yeah.
So the pink drum kit gets recognized everywhere.
Yeah. Big bass drum.
Kit. I mean, like, always been a fan of Dave Grohl and all those grunge drummers from early 90s, and most of them were using Tama kits. So I think, like, I was kind of destined to get one of those.
Cool. I think one of the important things is also like a big bass drum when you play that kind of music, right? Do you have, is it a...
I think it helps from a visual perspective. It's all down to the sound that you want, really. These days I'm using actually very small bass drums because they record, is easier to record. But sometimes I put out my 24-inch just because I need a big boomy sound. It's all down to what you really need for the production that you're doing, for the song that you're doing. Actually, some of the songs, one of the heaviest songs from our first album, Swedish Death Candy, has been recorded on a jazz kit.
Oh, really? Cool.
Mm-hmm. Licorice Part 2 and 3 was recorded on a jazz drum set, which for some reason it was sounding really, really big through the mics and the desk. We've been recording all our stuff. I need to give a shout out to our producer and engineer Tobin Jones, because everything that we've recorded comes from the Park Studio. We recorded it in the Park Studios, which is a studio in Wembley that he's the manager and runs himself. And he's got some wicked gear in there. Like, we're talking like SSL desks, so like the go-to stuff that you dream to go in a studio and find. He's got it, and sometimes it gives like a great sound from the weirdest things, and we love to do weird things with when we record.
Yeah, nice. That sounds pretty cool. And how is like the creative process of writing and recording your songs? Do you have like any rituals, or how do you write and record your songs?
I think most of the times Louis comes up with the riff. I would say like 70-80% of times Louis comes up with the riff or some sort of main line, and then we fill in the gaps. We all put our parts, and I think like the only things that is consistent with our writing is that we try whenever we write something, we try to keep our ego as low as possible, so we all kind of interfere with each other's part. We all inspire each other to play in some way, and we're all involved in the final product.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Well, since this is a multilingual podcast, Marco, do you have like a favorite idiom or a slang word, a phrase that you always like to say that you can teach our audience here in South America that are learning English, maybe? London slang.
Wow. London slang. I think like the most used London word that I've been using constantly is just mate. Everyone is a mate or is a bro.
Yeah, as a bro.
So whenever you are in a conversation words like mate and bro just
It's always
just
good.
come through all the time.
Yeah, it's all good. Awesome, Marco. It was fun. I want to thank you for your time, for being part of this independent podcast from South America. Thank you so much for your music and everything. It was fun. Did you have fun, Marco?
Oh yeah, thank you for having us. And it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Absolutely.
Hope the listener will enjoy our music as much as you did.
Yeah, they will. Is there anything you want the world to know about Swedish Death Candy? What do you want to know? What do you want the world to know about Swedish Death Candy? Did I miss something?
I think we covered pretty much everything. There will be some music coming through in the next months.
Yeah, exactly. Future projects.
Yeah, we have a few cards in our sleeve that we still have to show to the world.
Yeah.
So stay in touch. Follow us on social. We obviously have social pages and most platforms. Instagram and Facebook are the platform that we use the most. Bandcamp is a great platform for music in general.
Of course, people can buy your music there.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to it. So, Marco, I have a great day over there. No, take care and bye.
Thank you very much, man, and you do too.
Yeah, and we are going to. So let's call it a day. But before that, we can end the show with one of your songs. Do you have like a favorite song from your album?
I think like one of the songs that
you
I
like
the most playing live is "Modern Child." Is one of the most involved tracks that we play live, and but it's both short and melodic, but very rhythmic. It's got a bit of a more dancey feel to it. So yeah, I'd say Modern Child is one of my favorite songs at the minute.
Okay, let's listen to that then. Thank you, Marco. Goodbye.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Evan.
Bye.
All the best.
Bye.